Consistency. Oh, the dirty word consistency. Now, consistency is one of the things, if I think of myself, one of the biggest shocks I had was I thought I was a lot more consistent than I was. And when I started to employ consistency, I read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. In Atomic Habits, it explained the habitual processes of our behaviours and what leads us to get good results, or in a lot of cases, undesirable results. And through that, reading that book and understanding the principles that was within that those pages, James Clear has essentially written a book that's based on principles that have been known for decades. He even says it himself, he says all this stuff that's in here is his interpretation or his amalgamation of all that useful information. And it was packaged up in such a way that it was short, concise, to the point, and I thought it was a great book. And in part of that book, he talks about consistency, and he says that the greatest failure point for anyone is how consistent they are. So if you imagine that your life is a lagging, what happens outside is a lagging indicator of what happens inside your mind. It's a lagging result, meaning that if you think about, like, I'll give you an example, if you go and have fast food one day, then you're not going to put on, 2 stone in body weight. So that decision that day isn't really going to make that much of a difference. But if you have takeaway every day for 365 days a year, you might have put on 2 stone of fat. So that is a lag. That is what you make the decision inside. And initially it doesn't really, have too much harm, or it's not visible. But if you do that over and over and over again for a prolonged period of time, you're going to get the lagging result, which is that thought process, hey, it's okay to eat something like this, and I do it often enough, and then you do it for long enough, you see how habits and consistency can cause havoc. That on that spun on its head, if you consistently make a better choice, that consistency might not show up today. Like, for instance, say that you want to get more muscular. You can go down the gym, you can lift some weights, you can work really, really hard, you can spend an hour or two busting your gut, and you can feel exhausted, and you can go home. You look at yourself in the mirror, you're exactly who you were before you went training. And you might decide, hey, look, that was pointless because I haven't really changed. But if you'd done that for 365 days a year, what do you think your results would be then? And that's the knife edge of consistency. If you can keep up making really good decisions, you will consistently get better. And that is the part that most people slip up on. And here's the thing, here's where the two of them marry up. If you have consistency or lack of consistency, you then tend to let your ownership slip, and then you want to blame, it was my work, I didn't have enough time, the kids were sick, it was too cold, I wasn't in the mood, I didn't have motivation. You're just not taking ownership. You could have done something about it and you didn't. And that's fact. And if you can argue the toss, it doesn't matter. You didn't take action. You didn't take ownership. And everyone is quite happy to own the result when it goes well, but they're not happy to own the result when it goes sideways.